Leo. So, this season for you is like this harnessing of your light. I know it can sound really fluffy, but I think that it's like what you need, because it's another fixed sign. So you're almost like you're also harnessing your light. So you're more in just protection mode, and you're working hard to create that space for yourself. And you have created hard to create that space for yourself that you've needed for some of you. Whatever you are doing and working hard at, it's going to show you how capable you are, the wisdom that you're gaining, the insight that you're learning about harnessing the light, harnessing your presence, your energy into it could be a certain direction, a certain goal, a certain dream. And it could just be for you simply to do that for how you expend your energy. And there's something that has kept you from the 9 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles, and you have that realization this month. So the emotional response you may receive from that, your body may react to it, there will be like a greater sense of joy for some of you. A joy in how influential and rewarding what you're doing is for not only yourself, but for the people around you, for also the parts of you that have maybe felt stuck in one direction. For some of you, this could be marriage or something that has to do with the legal system that was stuck is now in motion. For some of you, you may be whatever was stuck with a Libra, it may be starting to reveal itself as to why and proceed from there. Though I do feel like for most of you, it's finding this equal playing ground, equal having 2 and 2. This idea of what a life full of love, prosperity, being seen, learning, and having the kind of partnership a lion wants. You're very centered and stable in that. You understand the reality of where you're at. For some of you, there's places, there's goals that you have, there's certain things that you want to achieve, and you're seeing the reality of where you're at now, and you're really beginning to focus on that side of yourself, especially what brings you more like that good, positive attention. That I'm out here doing my shit, feeling good, looking good. And what kind of people, environment support that version of yourself. Virgo season might have made it very clear, or there's a Virgo in your life who made it very clear to you of how important that might be for you. Maybe through a conversation that you've had recently or are about to have. This brings you to an extremely intuitive place with yourself and with your money. So for those of you who feel like you've been doing certain things with your money and it feels like you're like, what am I doing? It's because you knew. So something for some of you, and that also may be like how you choose to spend your time. Both. You'll come to the end of the month and you'll see like clearly what's important for you to say yes to, what's important for you to say no to right now in your life. And it's just anyone else around you who doesn't support that just has to deal. And we've talked about that a little bit, but now more than ever, you're kind of just sat on it. And I think it's this fixed, you're just in all the fixed signs you may feel enclosed, like you're a lion in a cage by the end of the month. But I think that if you really go through this and understand what it is that you need to reevaluate in terms of how you are deciding upon your future and what the decisions you're making now that makes that possible, but also how that feels to you, like allowing yourself, for those of you who don't allow yourself to expand upon that, it's a great time to do so and get in this very like this den, like feeling homey, being around the home more. this month, and seeing that structure build and letting yourself, dream. You might be dreaming with someone, which makes it stronger. But there's this air of clarity. This month is very brisk for you, it feels. And it helps clear certain things in your mind. So by the end of the month, this receptivity that you have from what you thought was being maybe closed off or stuck in your head, I think you're just seeing it differently. I think that sometimes that could be brought very closely to you so that you can be receptive to what comes next. Yeah. Bottom of the deck. Yeah. Some things need to clear up. And through this, because you want to maintain this light and this glow and this constant feeling, you realize the opposition that's needed and the time that you may need to spend maintaining that. Because you'll have so much power this month from that you could feel, and for those of you with Libra or Virgo in your chart, that you want to give it away, but those two signs are also learning how to pull back when needed. Actually, a few of them are. Ooh, that felt good. Yeah. So then it might feel good even though it like hurts or feels weird. It's just different. It's a different way. And not that you're not like this. It's just usually it's easy to be out when you're feeling great, but now you're like, no, I kind of want to conserve this. I want to use this in the places that continue to bring that kind of like that, just recycle and replenish that. And sometimes when we do it in different ways, in ways that we're used to, we don't realize like the burnout or the lack of reciprocity there is. And this month for you is about reciprocity and a more intimate look at that in your life, it seems. Like what that looks like moving forward. And it seems like you might be looking at the structure of your foundation, especially into all your relationships this month. Yeah, there's a lot of value in this month for you, an extreme amount of value. But like whatever goes down, it's going to add a lot and take away what's really necessary. Because by the eclipse, I think this is going to make sense to you. It's by the end of the month. So yeah, listen to that intuition. It's like pretty, when a mother's intuition is extremely on point. My mom has Leo rising, and I'm just saying. All right. In the second part, we'll take a look at your cards. All the information, work with me, is below. I love you, and I'll see you next month. Hi, Leo. Okay, so it's actually been a couple of days since I did the first part. So if it sounds extremely separate, I apologize, but just know that I always believe that like everything's needed to be said when it is said. And it seems like you understand because I've been working and it looks like you have been too. A lot of you, it's been a lot of internal work for a while, so you're excited that it's more about the external right now. Actually, a lot of you, it seems as though you're feeling really good about everything that you've been doing and how you've been feeling, and it's moving you from a place of like feeling like security is feeling stuck or safety is feeling stuck, but it's more about how it's like you really needed to experience this before this. And most people just want to get here. They might not admit it, but you actually love this place, right? This place is amazing too, but this place is like where you always want to be. And what I mean by that is just like securing yourself, what you're doing, making money, being prosperous, spreading all the love, but also really not taking shit anymore, and especially from yourself. Libra season really brought up definitely brought up what you value in relationships. You probably were over it like a couple weeks in, you're like, all right, I learned, okay. But really it was this coming to peace with how you see your life and how you see it from the intimate parts, the deeper parts, the also this is how people see you too, but this is that really outside perspective So it's that balance, but also it's just that balance of the perspective and the view of where this was taking place in both of these areas. And now that you're seeing like how much that's growing and how much it's been growing, especially just by understanding what you want and what you need, or who you need and what's real, and you don't feel this certain blindness that you were feeling before. It's not that you are at all naive. That's not what I'm saying. It's just it was more about yourself and where maybe you're blocking yourself from things coming through to you. And it's very clear that this independent feeling, regardless of any connection that you have, is extremely important to you. And it's possible that you felt that especially during Virgo season. Even before, it's almost like this play that's happening. Oh, sorry. And then by the end of the month, you feel so stable in your inner peace or inner knowing, and it's very clear to you. It becomes extremely clear, and anything that isn't will be most likely cut out by then. It could just be of your thoughts, it could be fears or doubts, but there's just like this very sure confidence and this extreme understanding of where you're at, who you are, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and loving being more maybe outgoing than you've been in a while. Yeah. I'd say leave all the unnecessary drama alone this month. You could feel pulled into it, but I almost feel like you're just gonna miss it. It's gonna miss you. For some of you, for some specific people, you could be dealing with a Virgo who has helped inspire this change in you, perhaps. That could be negative or positive, don't get me wrong. But for most of you, I think it's been positive. For others of you, you could have a Libra in your life who you are getting very serious with, and you're starting to have these really necessary conversation for what lies ahead and what both of you want. Some people even see justice as a Leo card, which I've very rarely heard, but I've heard that before. So there's that too. And ending the month with probably more money. A lot more money than maybe you've expected. And a deep understanding of how you've gotten there and why it's happening now. Okay, Leo? It's also about, it's also about control. It's how you handle or use your control. All of these, they're very disciplined creatures. They have to be. The mind especially. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for being here. All the information to work with me is below. This is the second part of your November reading. I will see you next month.